Okay, we also saw the phrase blend in with something or somebody 就是融入啦或是融合的意思 and society that can mean a lot, right?
Well, yeah, society is one of those big words, but basically it's all of us living together, right? When people live together, when they have a common language, they share a country, they share a city, they're polite to each other. This is sort of what we think of as modern society. When we all start fighting each other for food, well, society has broken down. But society is ruled by laws and customs and things like that. And generally, society makes life better for everyone because we don't run around killing each other, which is, you know, bad.
Okay, so society 就是社会的意思啦。Okay, for example, I could say something like, these problems affect only a small segment of society, like only a small number of people.
Right, of all the people living around. Anyways, let's get back to the article. It says, at the time, back then, the government believed that white people were superior to Aboriginal Australians. Why? Because of their skin color.
So racist.
Yeah, that's pretty racist. So yes, this was the old belief. Of course, not many people would believe this anymore. That would be considered very wrong and very stupid as well. But yes, people thought that white people were better than Australian Aboriginals or black people or other people who had a different skin color. If you're superior, you're better than something. You know, so people can feel superior and things can be superior. If you go to a store and you want to buy, you know, a pair of shoes and this one is better and cheaper, you'd say this one is superior to that one because it's better.
Oh, okay. 所以当时的政府他们相信呢，这个白人因为他们的肤色 skin color 而比原住民怎么样更 superior， 就是优越这样的意思。superior 有优越的啦，优秀的意思啦。比方像是如果呢，我们看到一瓶酒 ，a superior wine that or wine of superior quality just means that wine is better.
Absolutely.
Okay, and the opposite would be inferior.
Yes. inferior 就是比较差的或者次等的这样子的意思哦。Okay, let's continue reading. All right, it says, so therefore, so because of this belief that white people were superior to Aboriginals, between 10 and 33% of Aboriginal children were removed from their homes. They weren't just taken out of their homes, they were taken away from their parents. Because white people thought, oh, if they live that way, they're just going to grow up knowing how to hunt and, you know, eating simple food, and they won't learn how to read and write and, you know, get a job and stuff like that.
They couldn't live with their family,
They couldn't live with their families. No, they were taken away.
Oh, that's so sad.
Very sad.
所以
very
因
wrong.
此，当时呢，大约10%还有33%的澳洲原住民的儿童是从他们的家里面被带走，removed from their homes.
That's right. And they were sent to live in institutions or with white families after being taken away from their real parents, from their natural parents. They were sent to an institution. That would be something like a school. So a big school full of Aboriginal kids with white teachers and white nurses to teach them how to live in white society, and stopping them from speaking their own languages or eating their own foods or praying to their own gods, basically trying to make them into little white kids. Evil and wrong, but I have to admit, we did that in Canada too.
Oh,
it was evil and wrong there. Yeah, oh, absolutely. America, most countries have treated their Aboriginal people very badly in the past.
哦，真的听起来好像很难过，在之前这个种族的这个。OK， 但我们刚刚来提到，就是他们做了什么很糟糕的事情，在被迫与这个父母分离之后，他们就被收到这个收容的机构，或者是跟白人家庭生活，因为他们想要复制就是白人生活的这个一个方式哦。And these Aboriginal children were forced to speak English and to reject their culture.
Yep.
OK， 那这些澳洲的原住民儿童就被迫只能说英语，然后并且否定自身的文化。
And sometimes it was for their whole lives, not just when they were kids. It says most of them never saw their families again.
So sad.
Imagine being taken away from your parents at 3, 4, 5 years old, and then you never see them ever again. They're trying to make you a white kid.
好糟糕哦！那其中大部分的人再也没有见到自己的家人哎。I can't imagine that.
Yeah, so sad, so wrong. And of course, sometimes these young kids would remember their parents and remember their families and ask about them. And what happened? Well, we read they were usually told that their parents had died or given them up. So the government, the teachers would lie to these kids and say, oh, your mom and dad, oh, they died. Oh, it's so sad. When really the parents were still alive. Or the teachers would tell the kids, your parents have given you up. They've given you to us forever. They don't want you anymore. That's what it is to give somebody up or to give something up. Of course, it's not always bad. If you smoke and you give up smoking, that means you quit. That means it's something you're not going to do anymore. But in the same way, if you give somebody up, that also means you're someone you don't want to have a relationship with anymore. That's generally a sad thing for people, but a good thing for something that's bad for you, like too much junk food. Just give that up. And of course, life for these kids in their new white institutions, in their new white schools and families, wasn't great. It wasn't perfect at all. It says the children were often abused, poorly fed, and cruelly punished while living in the institution. So they were beaten, they were hurt, they were given small amounts of food, and if they did anything wrong, they would be cruelly punished. They would be punished, but in a mean, terrible, nasty way. So just a horrible situation.
Okay. 那可能呢，大家会想说，哦，没关系，他们可能就会住在机构，可能搞不好过得很好，这是错的，因为这些孩子住在这个收容机构时，常常受虐，然后还会挨饿，并且受到残忍的惩罚。这里我们看到的 abuse 就是虐待啊、伤害的意思，所以常虐童我们就会用 child abuse 来表示。Now, additionally, they were seldom educated, and most of them ended up working as servants or laborers. OK， 所以此外，他们极少受这个教育。那大多数的人最终还会以佣人，就是刚刚提到的 servants， 或者是劳工的身份工作。What does a laborer mean?
A laborer is basically someone who uses their muscles to do a job, all right? So they're digging in the earth, they're lifting heavy things, they're carrying heavy things, that kind of job. So these kids weren't being trained to be doctors or teachers or lawyers. They were trained to work in mines, to cut down trees, to carry things around.
Mistreated.
A really terrible kind of job that, you know, won't give them much of a good future. So the article tells us these children and their families, the parents who had to give them up, called the stolen generations, still suffer greatly. Even though that policy, that government plan is not working, is not used anymore, the people, these young people and their parents, they still suffer greatly. Life now isn't a lot better.
OK， 这些孩子跟他们的家人被称作什么呢 ？Stolen generations， 就是被偷走的世代。他们现在依然承受极大的痛苦。We saw this word generation. Generation 呢，就是一代或是某个世代这样的意思。比如说，我们想要说，有一个人他出的书其实是非常深受年轻的以及比较老的那个年代深受他们的欢迎，就可以这样说啦。His books are popular among members of the younger and older generations. OK， 那如果我们有四代同堂，英文我们就可以说 That family has lived in the same house for 4 generations.
All right, we also had this verb to suffer. To suffer is to live through some kind of terrible experience. If you have pain, you're suffering from pain. If you have a disease, you're suffering from a terrible cold or something like that. And we can also suffer in our hearts, right? If someone breaks up with you or breaks your heart or your pet dies or something, you would be suffering from sadness, suffering from a broken heart. It might not kill you, but it's something you have to live through and hope that after some time goes by, you'll feel better and you'll stop suffering. You'll stop going through this terrible experience. For example, we could say he died instantly and did not suffer.
Oh, that's a good thing.
I guess that's better than suffering for days.
Or years.
Yeah. Anyways, let's get back to the article. It says, in fact, the effects of these actions, the effects of the stolen generation are still recognized today. So even though some time has passed, the people who suffered through this, the people who this affected, are still around, and life is still maybe not as bad, but still it's not perfect.
That's true. I can imagine. 所以事实上呢，政府呢这些行为所造成的影响，至今仍是众所皆知哦。这里我们看到的 recognize 有这个承认或是认为属实的意思。For example, it's important to recognize or be aware of your own faults. Okay, just like National Sorry Day, they should realize or recognize how sorry they were back then. The governments mistreated these people.
Yep.
How sad. Well, that comes to day 1 of our article. Let's now go to our For You chat.